I have walked past them a million times without realizing their pain and misery. Who are these people? What are they doing here? Why is anguish written all over their faces? 1,000 stories could be hatched as they drag their tired bones home every day. This is the story of migrant workers in Malaysia. There are close to 4 million documented and undocumented migrant workers in the country. They come from Indonesia, Bangladesh, Nepal, India, Sri Lanka, and Cambodia. Almost all of them come to Malaysia with the hope of saving enough money to send home. They come dreaming of a better life in their home countries, made possible by toiling in Malaysia. The reality shatters their dreams.
आइदैन होला सायद आइदैन हामी जस्तै दुःख गरेर हो नेपालमा कमाउने हो अब विदेश भनेर पहिलोचोटि हो म आएको भनेको पनि.
Let's trace back their stories. Prakash Baskuta came to Malaysia because he was promised $380 a month, an 8-hour workday plus decent living conditions. But now he makes $270, works 8 hours and stays with 30 other men who work in the same factory. Their boss deducts $8 from every worker a month for their makeshift home, but they are not even provided with drinking water. These workers live in cramped rooms and they work alternating between day and night shifts.
अनि हुन्छ नि होला भनेर हामी जुन सपना बोकेर यहाँ आएको थियौं यहाँ आउँदा मात्रै छाल पाइयो हामीले तपाईको भनेको ओटीसोटी गरेर म्याक्सिमम तपाईको 800 देखि लगाएर 850 सम्म हामीले पायौं. त्यसपछि हामी खुसी नभएको.
Most migrant workers working in Malaysia are caught in the same situation as Prakash. Padam Chan is a Nepali who was promised work in a security firm. When he came to Malaysia, he was stranded at the airport for days. Finally, an agent whom we only know as Kabita picked him up from the airport and gave him a fake work visa. His visa shows a smudged photo of a younger-looking man in a security uniform. But Padam now works in a factory for 12 hours, 6 days a week, earning way under the sum he was promised.
Police catch me. Maybe Kabita wants to send to police also. My agent, you take him, now he has got money, sometimes 200, sometimes 300, police take ready.
Harassment from the police and the voluntary force Rela is a story which was repeated by many migrant workers whom we spoke to. Following Padam's story, we made a call to Kabita to ask if she has been giving out fake work permits to the Nepali migrant workers. She denied ever associating with workers from Nepal. But her husband, who took over the conversation, said Kabita was helping the workers.
Kabita, आप कैसे ला सकते हैं उनको नेपाल से? अब तो घबराओ मत ना, हम किसी को आपके बारे में कुछ नहीं बताएंगे. I know now you stopped doing this. You are not doing this anymore. Is that true? Is that true?
Yes.
தமிழா?
ஆமாமா.
உங்ககிட்ட சரி அப்புறம் நீங்க சொல்லுங்க என்னதான் நடக்குது ஏன் எல்லாரும் இவங்க தான் செய்றாங்கன்னு சொல்றாங்க?
இல்லம்மா வேலை செஞ்சு கொடுத்தாங்கன்னா ஹெல்ப் பண்ணிருப்பாங்க அதுக்கு வந்து
The factories and companies that employ migrant workers in Malaysia do so through agents. And according to the migrant workers, these agents work closely with high-ranking officers in embassies, the police, and immigration.
Bangladeshi agents, those are working in Malaysia, they have some good connected with the Bangladesh embassy senior officer. So I know that they have some illegal issue, and the embassy, when the migrant worker, they complain to the embassy, they don't care about them.
Thousands crawl under barbed wires and travel in dangerous circumstances to cross borders into Malaysia. Poverty, the absence of job opportunities in their homeland, and a strong exchange rate pushes them to leave their homes and families behind. Malaysia's economy, primarily the construction sector, plastics industry, and palm oil plantations, are largely dependent on migrant labor. But once in Malaysia, hundreds end up living in containers, which are located far away from the glitz and glitter of Kuala Lumpur, the federal capital. These places are usually fringed by jungles. According to the Malaysian law, Any person who is exploited, threatened, deceived, abused, and subjected to fraud are deemed as trafficked. This translates to mean that if a migrant worker is not employed by the employer stated in his work permit, is not paid the agreed salary or not paid at all, and not provided with proper living conditions, are trafficked.
What they call a requirement of the law, we can interpret it as trafficking. Forcing them to do work which is not in line with the government's policy or the law is also trafficking.
These containers are home to migrant workers from Bangladesh and Indonesia. Here, men and women bathe together. Watching them, I was struck by the deep pensive sadness as women tried to remain modest. As they walked to the common bathing area to perform the act of washing their bodies, it struck me that they thought of it as a mundane chore that must be done. Sometimes even that act is disrupted.
Ini air tada semalam siki pun air tada. Kencing pun tabile, bera pun tabile. Macam itulah.
And they have fashioned a kitchen in between the metal boxes which they call home. For these workers, this is the only place they momentarily forget their subhuman existence as they eat together, managing to puncture the stillness in the air with jokes and occasional bursts of laughter.
Kadang-kadang ya kalau keluarga gembira, happy lah, ada happy. Kalau waktu duduk sini tak ada happy lah macam tu.
For other migrant workers, living in containers is a luxury. These people live in jungles to avoid being arrested by the police or immigration, as they are illegal in the country. They either have not received their passports back from their agents, or their employers have simply not renewed their work permits. We visited a place which housed Cambodian migrant workers. The stench inside the shop lot where they lived caught us even before we had entered the premises. The floor was flooded by water from the broken toilet, which brought in excrement and feces. They slept, bathed, and cooked here.
My room not goes. Water, lots, bad smell, small room. A lot of people in the room. Must stay here. Not go everywhere. I have problem, but no somebody help me.
Researchers working on migrant issues say that most employers violate the Employment Act. Almost 40% of migrant workers are women, and while male migrant workers who are denied salaries would simply leave to seek for jobs elsewhere, researchers allege that the women turn to sex work to support themselves.
Recently, Nepalese women were brought from Nepal, and the agents did not give them work immediately. Normally, they have to give them work within a week. They have to place them at factories and facilities of the IT sector. So what happened was, for the first month, the Nepalese women were telling me that they did not have jobs, they did not have money because they borrowed a lot of money and came. And social workers and church workers and friends helped them out with grocery and just essential items. And then second month, they still did not have work.